Before you continue reading these words, understand that this is not a passing statement about God, but a call placed specifically for you in this very moment. I am Michael, sent to remind you with mercy that there are times when heaven does not merely send you a comforting thought, but places before you a deep awakening, so you may know that what is moving toward you is no longer far away. You do not need to become tense in order to receive it. You do not need to try to prove that you are worthy. You only need to stop long enough to recognize that the hand of God has gone ahead of you, preparing something that your own strength could not pull toward you, nor control according to your own will. O chosen one, sit down if you can, or at least allow your whole body to become still in peace. Let your shoulders release what they have carried for too long without speaking. Let your hands rest, not clenched, not defensive, not trying to hold on to things that have made you weary. For many years, the world taught you to keep moving, to keep reacting, to keep protecting yourself, to keep fighting so you would not be left behind. But there are blessings that do not enter your life through haste. There are answers that only come when you know how to be still. There are doors that only open when you no longer try to break them open with anxiety, but learn to stand before them with trust. My beloved child, what is coming into your life does not require you to chase it in panic. It requires you to become softer, brighter, and ready to receive. What God has prepared for you is not a reward for exhaustion, but support for a heart that has endured long and still has not lost its purity. I have seen you trying to remain calm on days when waves were moving inside you. I have seen you tell yourself to be strong when, in truth, you only wanted to rest. I have seen you continue to believe, even through seasons when every outward sign was silent. Therefore, today I say to you, sit down in this holy presence. Let the noise move away. Stop arguing with the past. Stop predicting every bad thing that could happen. And stop seeing the waiting as a sentence. You are being invited into a posture of receiving, not a posture of fighting. When you become still, you will realize that what God wants to say has been waiting for you for a long time. You are not forgotten. You are not late. And you are not left outside the door. Listen, my beloved child, because what is coming is not meant to confuse you, but to bring you into a season that is more peaceful, deeper, and filled with greater light. You have carried something for a very long time. Not only the pressure of circumstances, but also the heaviness of not knowing whether everything you have endured truly has any meaning. My beloved child, I, Michael, I am drawing near to you with gentleness to remind you that heaven has never taken lightly the days when you had to try to stand firm. There were things on your shoulders that were very real, very specific, and very heavy, responsibilities no one fully saw. Worries that were not easy to name, and quiet battles you had to walk through while still keeping a calm appearance on the outside. But deeper than the circumstances, what made you weary was the hidden question: is your faithfulness leading anywhere? Or are you only continuing to walk through a silence that has lasted too long? I saw those mornings, every single one. I saw when you woke up with a heavy heart, but still chose not to give up. I saw when you prayed in rooms that seemed empty, when your words seemed to dissolve into the air, when no sign before your eyes was strong enough to convince you that everything would one day change. I also saw the times when you kept walking without strong emotion, without the excitement you once had, with only a quiet decision that today you would still rise, still live kindly, and still believe a little more, even though your eyes had not yet seen the way open. And now, you need to hear this clearly. Not one of those mornings was wasted. Not one time you chose what was right, in silence was overlooked. Not one choked prayer was lost. Not one tear fell without heaven, recording it with mercy. What you thought were ordinary days meant only for survival were actually building the foundation for a new season. Your perseverance is not useless. Your waiting is not empty. Your silence is not proof that you have been forgotten, but the place where God was quietly making you steadier for what is coming. You are not here by accident. This word has not come to you like a stray sound in a noisy world. A guidance greater than coincidence has brought you to this exact moment, this exact message, this exact place where your heart needs to be lifted. Therefore, do not take lightly what is touching you. You may not yet see the whole picture, but heaven has seen it. You may not yet understand the full meaning of the heavy years, but they have not been wasted. I speak to you in protection. Stand firm a little longer, because what once made you think you were being delayed is being turned into evidence of restoration. And you are being led into a season where everything you endured in silence will begin to speak through light. Before this message closes, you will understand that what is moving toward you is not only great, but also worthy of every season you persevered through so you could receive it. My beloved child, I, Archangel Michael, want you to listen with a very quiet heart, because there are blessings that do not come like a small gift to be placed neatly inside your old life. There are things that, when they appear, will change the way you stand, the way you think, the way you choose, and the way you look back at the whole journey you have walked. What is shifting toward you is not a half-measure reward, not a passing comfort, and not something just enough to help you survive one more season. It is an expansion so great that you will have to release from your hands what is too narrow, too old, and too heavy in order to have room to hold the new. I know you have passed through long roads that not everyone saw. There were seasons when you endured in silence, not because you were weak, but because you still believed that beyond this weariness there had to be something better. There were days when you saw no clear sign, but still kept walking. There were times when you wanted to stop, but a gentle strength inside still pulled you back to your feet. You thought those years were only delay, but heaven used them to make you deeper, steadier, and spacious enough within so that you would not drop the great thing when it is placed into your hands. Therefore, do not try to force what is coming to fit your current pattern. A great blessing cannot always enter an old room without moving the furniture. It may require you to change your rhythm of life. Change the way you manage your peace. Change the relationships you allow near you. And even change how you see your own value. But do not fear that expansion. What God has prepared is not coming to overwhelm you and then abandon you. It comes with guidance, protection, and just enough direction for each day. Open both hands. My beloved child, do not receive the new season with one hand still clinging tightly to old fear. Do not hold on to small thoughts while praying for a wider life. What is coming needs a ready heart, a clear mind, and a trust soft enough to be led. I stand near you in this hour of movement to remind you that you have not endured in vain. Every season you have passed through is becoming the foundation for the great thing about to be placed into your life. Prepare yourself. Because expansion is drawing near, there is a recognition quietly rising within you, my beloved child. And I want you to understand that this feeling is not weak imagination, but the sign of a season approaching. At first, it was like a very gentle breeze moving through you, not large enough for you to name, but not small enough for you to ignore. Then, little by little, it became clearer, deeper, carrying a quiet urgency that outward circumstances could not yet explain. You looked around, and everything seemed to remain the same. But inside, you knew that something had changed. I, Michael, draw near to confirm that you are not wrong to feel that movement. You tried to find words to describe what was happening. You wondered whether it was true faith or only the desire of a heart that had waited too long. You wondered whether you were exaggerating small signs or hearing a subtle reminder from above. I speak to you gently but firmly. What you are sensing is not an illusion. It is the first signal of change. There are seasons when God has not yet opened the door before your eyes, but He has already caused the atmosphere around your life to change. There are blessings that have not yet touched your hands, but their presence has already begun to stir your heart. Just as the sky grows heavier before rain falls, just as a room suddenly becomes quiet before an important person enters, your life is carrying an unusual stillness. This is not emptiness, but preparation. It is not a sign that everything is standing still, but the moment before what has been arranged begins to appear. You have felt that shift in the way you think, in the way you no longer fit the old things, in the way your heart has suddenly become more sensitive to truth and more unfamiliar with what once felt normal. Therefore, do not quickly doubt your recognition simply because your eyes have not yet seen full evidence. Not everything real arrives first in a clear outward form. Many times, what is real comes as a strange peace, a feeling of being drawn forward, a gentle reminder to prepare your heart. I want you to remain awake, but not panicked, to keep faith, but not become hasty, to keep your heart open, yet still walk in wisdom. What is drawing near does not need you to force it. It needs you to be in the right position, pure, steady, and ready to receive. You have sensed correctly. My beloved child, the atmosphere around your life is changing because a new season is approaching. Let your heart become still, and do not let doubt steal the hope that has been lit within you. What God prepares often begins quietly before it shines before your eyes. Keep walking in trust, because what you feel today is the first echo of what is about to be revealed. Your prayer is changing in color, and that quieting is not a sign that you have abandoned faith. My beloved child, I, Michael, I'm standing near to remind you that there are seasons when you come before heaven with urgent cries, with repeated requests spoken through tears, with an eagerness to know when the door will open and when the promise will enter your life. But there is also another season, more subtle and deeper, where your prayer no longer feels like a struggle. You no longer try to negotiate with heaven as before. No longer use tension to prove your faith. No longer grip everything in fear. Instead, a quiet rest begins to form within you. That movement did not come because you forced it. It came slowly, gently, like morning dew descending when the night is nearly over. You did not decide that you would stop wrestling. One day, You simply realized that your heart was no longer praying with the same old panic. And because that felt so new, you began to wonder whether you had become cold, whether you had grown passive, or whether you were simply too tired to keep praying as before. I want you to lay that worry down right now. What is happening is not the retreat of faith, but the maturity of faith. You have not stopped believing. You have only stopped wrestling with the one who heard you long ago. Some prayers at the beginning are like knocking on a door in a storm. But when faith is refined, they become a still, trusting standing before that door, knowing that the timing of its opening rests in a higher wisdom. You stopped struggling at the very season when heaven began preparing the things you could not yet see. Your silence and the movement of heaven are not separate from each other. They are meeting in a holy order that you will understand more clearly when the time comes. Therefore, do not see your open hands as weakness. Clenched hands may look strong, but sometimes they are only holding fear, the old way, and the need to control every detail. Open hands are the hands ready to receive what is good. When you stop gripping everything until you are exhausted, you are not losing what you prayed for. You are only ceasing to block the peace needed to receive it rightly. Pray with greater softness, with steadier trust, and with a heart that knows you are not forgotten. I am guarding you in this season of transition, and the rest coming to you is not an ending, but a sign that you have been led closer to what is being prepared. God knows very well the weight you carried when your honest heart was distorted by people who never truly wanted to understand you correctly. I, Michael, draw near to you in this hour to remind you that none of your weariness has been taken lightly. None of your silent battles have been overlooked, and none of the explanations you had to repeat in pain were unseen by heaven. You once tried to protect your purity before eyes that had already decided to doubt you from the beginning. You once stepped into verbal battles you never should have had to enter. You once grew weary from having to prove that you had no evil intention, that you were not cold, that you had not changed in the way others labeled you. And today, from above, a word is being placed upon your life. Enough. My child, you no longer need to keep fighting battles that were not assigned to you. Not only have those misunderstandings been recorded, but God has also seen the financial pressures that kept you awake at night. He knows the times you calculated silently, the doors that closed without explanation, and the opportunities that slipped from your hands even though you had prepared with full seriousness. He knows the times when others were lifted while you were left behind. Even though you worked with devotion and faithfulness, He knows your investments, not only of money, but of time, effort, faith, and hope, did not bring the results you once expected. But, my beloved child, what did not bear fruit in the old season does not mean it has died. Some seeds are kept for the moment when the soil is deep enough. The rain comes at the right time, and your hands are steady enough to harvest without losing peace. God also knows the health battles you quietly walked through. He knows the unusual signs that made you anxious, the nights when you woke while everyone else was sleeping, the questions you did not know whom to tell, and the fears that came during the quietest hours. He knows your loneliness in the midst of crowds, when many people were near, but very few truly understood the depth of what you were carrying. He knows the exhaustion of someone who feels called to something greater, yet still has to live through small, repetitive, slow days filled with unanswered questions. Therefore, Do not quickly conclude that silence is a sign of abandonment. Sometimes silence is a covering, a safe distance, a place where God keeps you from saying what could be misused, keeps you from entering a door that has not yet been purified, and protects you from things that seemed like opportunities but would actually have drained you. Every struggle is being used to refine you more deeply. Every delay is setting you back into proper alignment. Every closed door may be protection from something you have not yet seen. Now you are about to understand why the silent seasons were never useless. They did not lock you away. They are becoming the key that opens what you have waited for through tears, perseverance, and a heart that still chooses pure faith. The enemy cannot stop what the Most High is building in your life. So it tries to make your own words slow down what is being prepared. My beloved child, I want you to understand this with wakefulness, but not with fear. When a sacred work has been founded in your life, darkness cannot easily tear it down as you imagine. So it changes its approach. It does not always come through great battles in front of you, but often through small provocations, situations that make you impatient, conversations that make you want to defend yourself immediately, or insults arranged to pull you out of peace. I, Michael, I'm reminding you that in this season, your mouth must be guarded like a precious gate. There are times when you think you are only speaking to relieve your heart, but words released in anger can sow more confusion into a place that needs quietness. There are times when you think you are only complaining because you are tired, but if you repeat fear too often, it can cloud the trust you are learning to preserve. There are times when you want to explain yourself to someone who does not truly want to understand. Want to answer someone who intentionally hurts you. Want to say everything that has been held inside. But not every true word needs to be spoken immediately. And not every battle needs your mouth to enter it. Remember that your words carry weight. They can rebuild what has grown weary, but they can also deepen the crack if spoken while your heart is not yet still. They can open the way for reconciliation, but they can also lock a door through bitterness. They can lift you into clarity, but they can also pull you back into old cycles. Therefore, the enemy does not need to make you collapse if it can make you react at the wrong time. Speak to the wrong person. Speak while provoked, and then leave you living in regret. My beloved child, this is not the season for you to prove you are right at all costs. This is the season for you to learn the power of silence at the right time, of a gentle answer, of a prayer placed in the hidden place instead of an outburst in irritation. When you are provoked, stop before speaking. When you are misunderstood, let peace lead you. Do not let pride rule. When you feel the desire to complain, turn that word into a confirmation that you are still being preserved. I am standing near you like a merciful guard, placing my hand upon the gate of your words and reminding you to choose wisdom. Do not let one impatient moment disturb the rhythm of what has been arranged. Speak what brings life. Hold back what is born from injury. And let stillness protect you until your words become pure, strong, and rightly timed. There is something I need to tell you about your destiny. From the moment you entered this life, you were marked as one preserved by heaven. My beloved child, I am Michael, and I draw near to you with mercy to remind you that your life has never been a random drifting through the world. A sacred mark was placed upon you very early, before you understood who you were. before you knew how to name the battles, before you realized why you had escaped many things that seemed able to make you collapse. That mark quietly protected you through stormy seasons, through lonely valleys, and through days when you thought you no longer had enough strength to keep walking. You were preserved not because everything around you was easy, but because there is a calling over you that has not yet been completed. Throughout the years that have passed, there were things meant for you that seemed to be stored behind closed doors. You prayed, waited, and tried, yet there were blessings that seemed blocked, opportunities that could not yet come close, and answers still behind a thin veil. I want you to understand that not everything sealed is a rejection. Some things are held back to protect you from receiving too early, and some gifts are stored in a safe place until you are mature enough, wise enough, and steady enough to carry them without being overwhelmed. But now, the season of opening is drawing near, and the mark that once protected you is also beginning to release what has been accumulated for you. I will lead you to recognize 3 sacred seals connected to your journey. They are not strange objects for you to fear, but images of areas of life that have been locked for a time, where your heart needs healing, where your steps need the way opened, and where provision needs to flow in the right rhythm. Each seal represents a layer of hindrance that made you feel you were moving slower than what should have happened. But my child, what was locked by time is not stronger than the power given to open it. What once made you wait cannot keep you forever outside the portion prepared for you. Therefore, remain attentive and walk with me step by step. Do not rush. Do not become distracted. And do not take lightly what is being revealed. I am not saying this to place a burden on you, but to teach you to honor the sacred process opening before you. There are releases that must be received by faith, doors that must be entered with wakefulness, and portions of blessing that need a ready heart to contain them. Keep your heart quiet, your eyes turned toward the light, and your hands open. What has been preserved for you has not been lost. It is being called out from the hidden place. Today, you are not only being reminded that you are chosen, but also being invited into the season when old seals begin to open. So, what heaven has stored for you may flow at the right time. Stop right now in this moment. Find a quiet space. Breathe deeply and let your mind become still, because a special message is being placed before you, not to frighten you, but to awaken you to recognize what heaven has seen in you today. I am Michael, drawing near to you with mercy and holy solemnity, to remind you that the small action you chose this morning was not overlooked. Perhaps you simply chose to remain calm when you could have reacted. Perhaps you chose to keep believing when all outward signs had not changed. Perhaps you only whispered a very quiet prayer that no one heard. No one praised. And no one knew how much strength you had to gather in order to do what was right. But above, that was recorded, your silent choices carry more weight than you think. Because when a person chooses light where no one sees, heaven knows that true maturity is living within that person. Do not think that what you do in faith is too small to create movement. There are doors in the unseen world that do not open through noise, but through quiet obedience. There are changes that do not begin with a great event, but with a moment when you refuse to let fear control you. The calmness you kept today, the trust you chose today, the pure silence you offered today became like a sign sent forth It showed that you are no longer someone easily swept away by every old wave. It showed that you are learning to stand firm, not by your own strength, but through deeper dependence on God. Therefore, do not underestimate this morning. Do not underestimate that choice that seemed small. In the spiritual realm, many things have begun to be rearranged around you, because you answered with faith before you saw with your eyes. I know that recently you have felt tired in a very deep way. Not only tired from lack of sleep or a crowded schedule, but with a heaviness that seems to seep into your inner being. At times, your emotions rise and fall in ways you do not expect. At times, you feel like crying without knowing why. At times, you sit among people but still feel as though you are somewhere very far away. You wondered whether something was wrong with you, whether you were growing weaker, whether you had lost the stability you once had. I speak to you gently. Do not condemn yourself too quickly. There are changes within that are not signs that you are breaking apart, but signs that you are being prepared to carry a greater responsibility. When God increases your capacity, old things within you are stirred. When He refines your recognition, emotions that were buried deep may rise to be healed, cleansed, and placed back where they belong. The years you thought were wasted were not meaningless. The silent seasons, the closed doors, the times you were delayed, and the days when you were misunderstood, all helped form the person who could make today's choice. You once thought you were only waiting, but you were actually being trained. You once thought you had been set aside, but you were actually being protected from things that could have distracted you before the right time arrived. There are people prepared in hidden places for a long time before they are placed in a decisive moment. There are missions that need many years of silence to build the courage needed for a single day. And today, when you chose what was good in silence, heaven saw that the old seasons did not destroy you, they made you deeper. For that reason, do not resent the times when you felt isolated. Perhaps you once hurt because you were not understood, felt sad because the circle around you became smaller, and wondered why some people no longer walked with you as before. But I want you to see that with more peaceful eyes. Not every separation is rejection. There are times when God creates a layer of protection around you, so the voice of the crowd will not disturb what He is placing within you. If everyone had the right to enter your life during the season of preparation, not everyone would touch you with purity. Some comments could make you doubt your calling. Some connections could pull you back into the old rhythm. Some noise could cause you to lose focus at the very time when you most needed to be kept still. Therefore, receive this season as an arrangement full of mercy. You have not been left alone. You are being preserved. You have not been hidden because you are unworthy. You are being protected so you can mature without being pulled off course. God saw what you chose this morning. And I remind you that this choice did not end in the moment it happened. It is continuing to grow like a seed placed into good soil. Continue to keep calm when tested. Continue to believe when you have not yet seen results. Continue to pray silently when no one knows how you are fighting. What you do in the hidden place is creating public strength for the days ahead. I, Michael, speak to you with mercy. Breathe deeply once more and do not fear the preparation taking place, the strange emotions, the long silences, the seasons of being set apart, and the tests that seem to last too long are all being used by God to build a new steadiness within you. You are not only being prepared to receive blessing, You are being prepared to steward what is given with wisdom, humility, and peace. Remain in the light. Let outward judgments gradually lose their power over you. Believe that what God has begun in you will not be left unfinished. This morning was not as ordinary as you think. A silent choice has been recorded by heaven. And from that choice, a new road is opening before you.